Hi, Daniel Berry Sports. I tried to turn it off, not even knowing it was going to rotate, or not rotate, loop. Hi, everybody. So, yeah. So, I have a little thumbnail for my live, and I was like, do I just put it in the community post, or do I do a live? Well, it's such an incredible relief to me, and I talked about what I've been going through about a week ago, or 5 days ago, or I don't know, whatever it is, of having a polyp removed on my cervix. Just out of the blue, I had spotting, and that could have been cancerous, and it came back no precancer cells, thank God. And I thought everything was fine and over with, and I had no spotting for 6 whole days, and then I had it again, and I was like, oh my gosh. So, because it wasn't very much, and it was 6 whole days later, I thought, well, you know, I don't have to have another appointment, but my gynecologist wanted me to come in and have a part of the lining of my endometrium biopsied. So then I really was getting a little scared. You know, the first time I was kind of scared, and then I was 25% more scared, and then waiting for these results, I've been like 75 to 80% nervous because, you know, I told her, I said, what is the worst thing? And she said, well, you could have cancer, but by taking care of it earlier, you know, that's the thing to do, find out what's going on. And she's right. But I always kind of want to know the worst news first. I think so I can brace myself for the possible worst news. But I had peeked at my email where I have my medical portal that morning, and there was nothing, and the day before, and there was nothing. And with the holidays coming, I mean, I wasn't sure I'd find out till maybe the day after Thanksgiving. But before I went to sleep last night, I checked, and there it is, test result. Even the words test result. Now, she had told me she was going to call me either way with the results, whether it was negative or positive. So I just couldn't wait to find out any longer. So I didn't even say a whole prayer. I just said, well, it was kind of a prayer. I said, God, please no. Meaning, you know, I don't even like to say the word, but cancer runs on my mom's side of the family. And many of us know someone that's had some kind of cancer, whether it's a friend or family member or whatever. So anyway, of course, I'd be bawling right now if the news was positive for cancer. It was negative. It was so weird. It felt like not a brick was on my chest because, as I said a few days ago, I Googled endometrium cancer, and it was only 5%. These were studies that were done, I believe it was in Holland. So all of this stuff, besides just outright getting a cancer when you get older, you know, because for one, you don't rejuvenate as many good cells anymore, and a lot of your cells die, you know, that just comes with age. And so anyway, I went through, I was completely menopaused out by, well, probably I found out my ovaries were the size of raisins at 48. So while I was on the Depo-Provera shot, see, 41, I had Shailene, so 2, 3, 4, 5. For 4 years, I was on that Depo shot. Now, of course, you'll see that that can cause brain tumors and this and that. And that came up in my Facebook, and I was like, oh, great. But it certainly worked, having a shot every 3 months. And they did it in my arm. They alternated my arms. Anyway, so yeah, I looked in there. Now, of course, I couldn't understand what I was reading, all this medical wording, technology, whatever. Hi, Glaze IRL. Thank you. Hi, SpongeBob Fan 21. I'm just talking about my test results, you guys, of my biopsy for my endometrium. So anyway, and there were no notes from my doctor. So then I looked over in summary or something, and it said, doctor has not reviewed these yet. They will be contacting you. So I didn't want to get all too excited, right? Like, what if she had said, well, we still need to do this or whatever. So I kind of wanted to do a live last night and just say, yes, this is fantastic news, but I didn't want to jump the gun, so to speak. So I talked to her today and it was confirmed. So the big long word, I'm going to read it here. And I'm sharing all this for women that are menopausal at a youngish age, or if it comes later on, that polyps are common. So, I didn't know these things. And I've been through a lot of things in my life. Menorrhagia, which is hemorrhaging with your period. Not for years or anything, but actually one time. I had to go to the ER, get that taken care of the best they could, and things of that nature. And I've had a cyst on my ovary, and I had to have that removed. Got as big as a grapefruit when I was 22. And so, you go through things in life. That was non-cancerous, thank God. So when I opened the medical portal, this is literally what it said. Okay. Okay, so it said surgical, then it said clinical history, postmenopausal bleeding, final diagnosis, endometrial biopsy. And this is the big long word that I Googled because I was trying to find out if anything was cancerous. It said, underneath the endometrial biopsy, it said stripped atrophic endometrial epithelium without atypia or atypia. ATYPIA. So I'm like, okay, without what? Like, without cancer, without, I've never heard the word atypia or atypia associated with or without cancer. Then it said electronically signed by John W. Hoyt, MD, pathologist, right? Hi, Dealey. Then it says description. One received in formalin designated, then my name, and designated per the requisition endometrial biopsy are multiple red-brown soft tissue fragments measuring up to 0.1 centimeters, twice filtered and entirely submitted in cassette 1A specimen. Is scant and may not survive processing. So I read that and I'm like, is scant? Please don't tell me she didn't take enough. Please don't tell me I've got to go there a third time, go through this. And the biopsy, it's not unbearable. I mean, almost losing my finger and having it fractured 2 months of Mays ago. Honestly, it was like, I want to say 1,000 times worse. That pain was unbelievable. So it is just cramping, but it's more of a piercing cramp. It's a little teeny bit longer than having a polyp removed. But if you take an Ativan and try to relax, you're okay, and then it's done. So anyway, so is scant and may not survive processing, right? So I'm like, great. So I keep reading. Technical component performed at Northwest Pathology Diagnostics, blah blah blah. Microscopic description. Then it says it. The specimen contains a stripped atrophic endometrial epithelium without atypia or atypia. It's probably atypia, TY. No intact fragments are present. Hi, Freeside. I'm just reading about my results. Then it says, precluding assessment for chronic endometritis, not even endometriosis, endometritis, or hyperplasia. So then I'm like, is hyperplasia a kind of cancer I've never heard of, blah, blah, blah. So I looked that up, and it's not. And now, honestly, I can't even remember what it is because my short-term memory isn't very good. So I looked up the long word atrophic endometrial epithelium without atypia. And it says, just a few sentences, and yeah. Okay, this is what it says. And I was so relieved, but then again, I didn't want to jump the gun. I didn't want to just do a live and say, woo-hoo, no cancer, if there was more that either needed to be done or they didn't have enough of a sample from my biopsy. This is what it says. Atrophic endometrial epithelium without atypia, which is exactly what was written in my chart, describes a normal, thin, and inactive lining of the uterus, often seen after menopause, that does not show precancerous changes. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was weird. Like, it wasn't a weight off my chest. I thought I felt imagined feathers. Not like I'm in heaven, but just like something fluttering off my chest. That was the sensation I had. That's the relief I was feeling. This is a benign, okay, malignant is cancerous, benign is negative. This is a benign finding, meaning it is not cancer, and it may not require treatment. So, yes. So the absence of atypia is a reassuring sign. Oh Lord! And then it got confirmed today. So, again, if I go through some spotting out of the blue, I'll have to have a hysteroscopy where it's basically a camera inserted to check for polyps if they, arrive at a later date, which I don't anticipate, and she doesn't either. I asked her when I can have my next exam, and she said it's 5 years. It's every 5 years, for medical to cover it, unless I need to see her sooner. So I'm extremely relieved. Anybody that goes through and then also, my sister has ovarian cancer and has been fighting it now for 2 years and still is. She did all the chemo and, lost her hair, and she's very weak now. She's a year younger than me. She's 62, I'm 63, but she has to use a walker to get around, and they're giving her a chemo pill now. So, and it had metastasized to her, I believe it was her liver and definitely her lung. So, yeah. So anyway, that's the news. I always play a little music before. Usually I dance a little bit, but I've been a little extra sort of feeling tired. I think because I haven't been getting decent sleep. I'm doing a lot of tossing and turning, and I think it's just stress. So I'm probably going to sleep like a baby tonight. Hi, Sister Callie. Hi. Yeah, so because I was all concerned about my situation with the polyp and then the biopsy, I'm just sharing that the results are non-cancerous, and I'm just over the moon. How is Washington? Rainy, cold, windy, all three at the same time. Yeah, day after day. It's almost like we've had more rain in November than half of the month in October. And thank you. Yeah, the polyp came back negative, Sister Callie, and then, but I spotted 6 days later. And so, oh, is there static? Hi, Cassie Thompson. Is there now? Excuse me, is there static now? It was probably from touching the speaker for a quick second. So I was pretty nervous, you guys, when they had to do a biopsy too. Oh, memories of Whidbey Island. See, I've never been there. I have never been there. And those other islands out there, what are they called? Shoot, people go whale watching and stuff. Oh, it's gone now. Was it a while, Kessie? Hope I didn't have my hand on the... I try not to. I try to touch the side of my iPad. I'm sitting on my bed, just trying to relax. I was up pretty early. 8:30 in the morning is early for me, especially as you get older, and if you get to bed at 1:30 or 3:30 or even 4, that was easy to do. I can honestly say, and this is the truth, because I had Shaylin, my daughter, at 41. When I was in my 40s, I felt like I was in my 20s. I did. I had that much energy. I walked to town, which is a mile, 8 months pregnant, and back. And yeah. And I walked because where were we going? I was with Shaylin's father, and I remember really wanting a small milk from one of the machines, and he wouldn't get it for me. There is a restaurant in Coopville called Oyster Catcher. Oh, wow. Coopville. I'm like 40 minutes from Burlington and Mount Vernon, where that young gal disappeared with the dark hair and the really pretty blue eyes. And they found her. They actually found her all the way, I think it was Massachusetts. It was someone she had met online, and that was such a relief. And I can't remember her name. That was at least a year and a half ago. But that was, 40 minutes from here. Okay, Whidbey Island is Skagit County. Okay. Do you know that I mispronounced Tulalip? I called it Tulalip for years. And then somebody told me it was Tulalip. That's how it's pronounced, but it looked like tulip, Tulalip to me. So where they have the casino, then they have another one like 20 minutes from here. I can't remember the name of it. And then even another one before Tulalip. Oh, isn't it Mucatico? Mucataco? Mucka, gosh, yeah, the ferry. Okay. Mucka, is it Mucataco or Mucatico? I'm thinking it's Teko, Muckat, but I thought it was pronounced Mucateo. But when I see the K there, it just can't be. I mean, this is the thing. If you don't drive and see all the signs and visit all the different little places around here, I'm 30 minutes from Mount Baker and I've never been there. My daughter has. She went, was it skiing or sledding up there? Now I can't remember, when she was little. But I have been to the tulip fields in, is it Mount Vernon or a little town near there, which were just spectacular. That's back when I was married. What are you? So I'm like the veggie teacher, Nevea Tebalt. I just don't know. So yeah, I'm very relieved. Tomorrow's going to be a big shopping day because I do have food stamps left over from last time. And I'm out of everything. Hopefully my Social Security came in. I'm literally, I always have a backup, like some kind of big bag of cat food. I'm out. I'm out of litter. I got to buy 4 of those at once to last the whole month, and they do. And dish detergent, and just, there's about 6 things on my list. And yeah, so I am monetized now if anybody wants to become a member. And I have emojis. You can be a guinea pig for $3.99 or a cat for $5.99. I wish I had lowered it now, like $2.99 and then $4.99, but I tried to get back in. I'm not kidding. I looked at a video and everything. I was like, if you want to change the membership amount, how do you do that? It didn't explain it. It was explaining other things. And I know if you say too much in Google, it gets confused, but I'm still learning. I'm a work in practice. Wait, is that a word? No, a work in progress. All right. So, and I have little super chats, and it's really kind of fun. And it's the little $sign down on the bottom if anybody ever wants to help me out. So, but I think I'm gonna go because it's early-ish here, but I've got a couple of things I need to do, and yeah. But thank you. Thanks everybody for hopping in. And I can't believe this has been live a little over half an hour already. So, try to. Oh my goodness. That is so sweet. Thank you, Sister Cal. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. I made my threshold. I don't know if you know this. Turtle Talk, she came in my very first night, of being able to get memberships and stuff, and bought 20. I just about collapsed, you know, and I mean, it cost like $91, and I don't even know her that well. I just couldn't believe it. It was so nice. And then AK-47 came in. He's from Ohio. I think he was feeling extra generous or gregarious or something. He wasn't drunk or anything like that. He wasn't. He had had dinner shortly before with his mom, and he bought me 5 and then 2 and then 5 more and then 5 more. So he bought nearly 20. And it's because of that I made my threshold. And then I got my little 6-digit thing in the mail. I mean, I've had to look at videos and go to all these different sites. That's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Luna Moon's given me a couple $1.99s and things like that. That's actually the biggest super chat I've gotten yet. Thank you so much. And happy Thanksgiving to you. Yeah, I don't stuff a turkey and all this kind of stuff. I can't be putting my hand in a turkey and pulling out bags of stuff and guts. And I did it once, and I don't even remember if the turkey hardly turned out, but that was 10 years or more ago. So I bought some ham steaks that are prepackaged, and I'll make some mashed potatoes and a green bean casserole, and gravy, of course, and we have a great big pumpkin pie. And I feel sorry for people that don't have family and don't even have friends, because they know everybody's with someone, usually quite a few people. Did you know that? I mean, this is kind of a depressing note, but many people, especially older folk, whose family is gone or moved away, or they're alone, or they passed away, um, they unalive themselves on holidays. I read that somewhere a few years back, and I thought it was really sad. But anyway, I want to make sure I didn't miss a name. Well, there's ADHD. Sorry I'm late. No, it's fine. You're always here. Thank you so much. Oh dear. So, well, I guess I could chit chat a little bit more. Um, yeah, what case do I even want to cover? There's boy, it's actually such a horrific case that I don't even want to cover it, because I don't even want people to know you can get online and find horribly disgusting people like this. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I was like, no, this is just too much. It came in on my email. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention what happened to her or anything. But if I wanted to be all sensationalized here, boy, I could. Because people seem to think that, uh, you know, some of the worst things are out there. No, they're not. Not what people are talking about. So, hopefully, if so people aren't alone, maybe their church or a church is giving out meals. We have quite a few homeless people here, in Bellingham. And it's sad. I mean, There's got to be quite a few because when I was riding my bike this summer, I passed like 3 different little tent type deals in a row. And that's just on one street. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's not so much downtown um, anymore. They must have cleared that out. But I'm going to peek on People True Crime. I haven't wanted to go live. I did talk about Summer Wells with my avatar a couple of days ago. Um, or, I mean, not really about her, but a lot of things in the past and my beliefs and stuff. I've had more than one person tell me that it was a pretty good live. Um, yeah. Um, so we'll see if there's anything new here. Um, it was pretty intense, you guys, to hear what's his name? That Mr. Enton guy. Whoops, I'm touching the speaker probably. About he read the affidavit out loud, and they literally put that boy, right? Trigger warning. All of us know this part, in that duffel bag and took him all the way to, is it Una or Unda or something? Shoot. Hi, Hybrid. Um, where was it? Was it Oregon? I mean, it was a ways. And then they brought him back, and so he was moved around quite a bit. And I remember, like everyone else, that whole thing was all over the news, and to think he's in a home up the, I guess across from them, but up the street. Like, I honestly imagined him being grabbed and driven away immediately into another state. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, oh my gosh, how are they going to find this child? Enton also said that Tyler, the father, didn't, he was grabbed between 6 and 6:30. And it was 7:21. This is what Enton said. When Tyler, the father, noticed him gone. And I know he had a baby, or whatever he was taken care of, but that's a good, hour later to kind of notice your son isn't around, or to make sure, and I'm not trying to judge him, but I was surprised to hear that. It wasn't 7, it wasn't 7:01, it wasn't 6:45. So that was surprising, but it sounds like they're all 4 are in trouble, to say the least, and that's the way it should be. Goodness gracious. So good grief, you guys. 3 morticians, secret lovers, and a staged farmhouse death inside the 2012 killing of Byron Griffey. What on earth? People are just so weird. And I'm sure you guys heard about one of the Slender Man stabbers. I mean, I guess I can say that. I hear all the intenseness on other people's monetized channels, There's just certain words you can't use and TOS guidelines and stuff. But that Morgan Geyser, as most of you know, one of they were 12 and 13 back in the day, uh, cut off her, whatever that thing's called, ankle bracelet, and was missing for, I think it was 2 whole days or just a day and a half. And she left the place she was at. I mean, wasn't she? Well, I don't know how old she is, and but the thing is, you have to know you're going to get caught. And now she's probably she's older now. Maybe not by that much. Maybe she's 20 or I didn't even like massively look into it. But I can hit on this. It shows them when they were younger and oh, good grief, took that poor, you know, coaxed that poor girl out into the woods. She was friends with him, I believe, in the beginning. Wisconsin preteens Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire stabbed their close friend Peyton Leutner 19 times on May 31st, 2014. Okay, so 11 years, almost 12 years. So if one's 13, that's 23, 24, 25. Wow, they're like 24 and 25 now. But now, you know, apparently they believe they would earn the approval of this Slender Man character, which just the internet born boogeyman. It's just disgusting. And I'm glad people don't really talk about it anymore. I'm sure all of you have heard about it. I'm not even going to cover this. Why am I doing this when Thanksgiving is in 2 days? Why am I talking about such? Because I'm so used to pulling up stuff on people true crime, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But she was caught, she was found and rearrested. And yeah, I don't really edit anything in here, as most of you know. But I will say this. My friend Maria G's daughter, Charlene, could definitely still use prayers. She had to go into the hospital again a couple days ago, and she is out now and trying to eat. But you almost get to a point where you haven't eaten for so long, so many days, you lose your appetite. Instead of just being so hungry, it's, and then you don't even hardly feel well enough to eat. And she messaged me today, so prayers for sweet Charlene and her mother, Maria G., my friend in the UK. They're my friends. And my daughter's burn on her wrist was so much better even the next day. She spilled some coffee on it. Good 3 inches wide all the way around the wrist and up into the bottom thumb part on your hand. So that's healing nicely. And I called the paramedics, and yeah, so she hasn't even had to take Tylenol or Motrin now for 2 days, like at all. So that's shocking. So that was just not just, but a first degree burn. All right, well, that's enough that's good news, and my biopsy results are good news. Thank you to the 8 in the up on Mount Everest. I don't know. There's snow up there year round, but you guys are up there looking down at my program. But I really am going to go now, and maybe I'll go live tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have a pretty big day. And gotta go. Good night. Thank you, Sister Callie, so much. That really does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat and for being here and for your support all these months. And everyone else, too. Please hit the like. Please subscribe to Brewed Awakening. I have my coffee, but not always in the morning. Thanks, you guys.